It is a safer choice for those who live with autoimmune diseases. So right now, I am going to open up the line for a testimony. This is a person who has lupus and suffers from lupus. She is a registered nurse, and she is going to just come on the line and give her testimony about how these products have worked for her.
Hi, everyone. My name is LaShawn, and as Dr. Rita stated, I'm a nurse. I've been a registered nurse for over 20 years now. About 10 years ago, I was diagnosed with SLE, also known as lupus. The way that the lupus affects me is I have organ attacks in my body. And as you all just learned, that is really the body attacking itself. So I primarily have involvement with my lung, at times my liver, my joints, skin, and the hair, of course, with the skin. It's a chronic, lifelong condition. There is no cure, only treatment options, and there are different, severities of lupus. We can have inactive or remission states, or we can be in a flare-up exacerbation state. But even if it's a quiet, inactive state, we still have the disease. Because I work on a busy inpatient surgical unit for 20 years, when I was diagnosed 10 years ago, I did have to alter the way that I take my patient assignments and the type of patients I care for because of the drugs and medications that I'm on. I'm in an immunocompromised state. I take drugs to suppress my immune system. So I have to kind of really be careful. With that, with this disease comes chronic fatigue, chronic pain, sleep disturbance, and, no one picture is the same for lupus or autoimmune patient. Our symptoms may vary somewhat, or someone may have different type of involvement with different organs, but ultimately we do all have the common theme of chronic fatigue and chronic pain. I like to drive. I like to work. I have 2 kids in college, so I'm trying to put them through. I have a mortgage, so my goal is to continue working as long as possible. Lupus can be very debilitating. I would say a couple months ago, a colleague, Robin, introduced me to CBD. Now, as a nurse, of course, I've heard of it, but like physicians, nurses, we practice in an area or field. Once we get out of nursing school, wherever we work, whether that's OB or pediatrics or dialysis, that's kind of our area. We're in that, and we don't really branch out too much further. So I had heard of CBD, but I never really knew the ins and outs of it. And with my chronic pain, with that comes medications like Norco, medications like Percocet, oxycodone. And when you are a working person, you have to drive. You can't be groggy. You have to be attentive. When you're a nurse, you're working with patients. You have to be critically think and be sharp. So I always felt like I had to be in pain most of the time, 90% of the time, because I'm either working or driving or going to the next place, and I was always afraid to overuse or overdo with medication. I started the CBD probably a little over 2 months ago, and I have to say, I use a Fitbit. I'm sure everybody's familiar with Fitbit. The Fitbit tracks your sleep hours, your quality of sleep. You get a sleep rating score. I've known for years, at least the last 7-8 years, I've been sleeping very poorly. And I didn't know if I had some OSA, sleep apnea going on, or if it was related to the autoimmune, the lupus. I must say, after about a good week of using the CBD tincture under my tongue, and I would hold it for 60 seconds and then swallow. I was doing that just once a day in the evening. And I reported back to Robin. I said, wow, I'm really sleeping better, and I'm having less pain. I was able to transition off. Now, mind you, I couldn't really take pain medication every day because I'm actively working. And you can't be, taking a Norco or Percocet and going to work is like being under the influence. I can't do that. So I would suffer. I'm talking about suffer because I have to work, but I could not medicate myself. So this tincture worked well, not only for sleeping, but pain reduction. And I was able to, at my last physician's visit, which was about 2 weeks ago, and at the end of the visit, he wanted to refill all my medications. And of course, I says, okay, refill the Plaquenil, that's the maintenance drug for lupus, refill my mycophenolate, another kind of maintenance drug. But when he got to the pain meds, I says, no, doc, I don't need any prescriptions. And he said, oh, well, you sure? Because you're not coming back until like 2 months. I was like, you know what? I've been on the CBD. I haven't had one opioid pill in about 2 months. And even though I wasn't, I would say, taking them every day, it's just the quality of my life. I feel, well rested, less fatigue. And autoimmune disease, you have this, I call it like the tricycle. You have the chronic pain with the chronic fatigue, which also leads to some level of depression. So you have the wheels spinning with these three things: depression, fatigue, pain. Depression, fatigue, pain. You don't know which one is fueling the other, but the three of them together is horrible. So I really feel like since I've been on CBD that I've eliminated I've eliminated the pain, I've eliminated the sleep, the tiredness. Now I still have some level of fatigue with the lupus, but it's not that sluggish, tired feeling that you have from sleep deprivation or lack of sleep. There's a difference. There's a different way that my body feels. A way that a person with any autoimmune or with me, with my lupus, I'm in tune to when I'm about to flare up, and I would usually start taking prednisone or doubling up on some other meds and text my doctor and say, hey doc, I feel a flare coming on, I got a fever, I have the night sweats, I know all my little cues. Now I got the CBD in the mix of that, and I gotta say I haven't had a major flare since I've been on it. And I'm not saying that that's gonna cure anybody and take all flares away. I've had some mini ones, but I was able to titrate my maintenance lupus medications with my CBD and keep myself out of the hospital. My goal every year is to prevent myself from being admitted. So February 14th will be a year that I haven't been in the hospital with a lupus flare. And that's pretty good. 2 months without a pain pill is pretty good. I would say right now for me, the benefits of this is that I'm off opioids. I've had a reduction in flares. I'm sleeping better. My skin is better. I do use the Power Mango body cream. So sun is bad for people with lupus, and extreme weather, either extreme heat or extreme cold, can trigger me and have some type of alteration in my skin. So I haven't had any rashes for about 2 weeks. I'm new with the Power Mango, but the other stuff I've been using for a couple months. I've missed no work from lupus, no work from my symptoms of fatigue or my symptoms of pain, because sometimes I would really have to make the choice of take some pain medicine and stay home, because I know I can't properly care for patients if I need to take 2 Norco and to manage my pain. So because I don't have to make that choice, I can do my drops of tincture under my tongue and go to work and feel fine. So that's the way this has been a positive impact on my life.
Wow, LaShawn, what a powerful testimony. When we think about how our products have made such a profound impact on the quality of your life, that's huge. That's huge. Because we know, one, the opioid epidemic. 130 people are dying every day from opioids. They're trying to get out of pain. They're not trying to kill themselves, right?
Just trying to sleep and be out of pain. Yes.
Yes.
And when you're trying to work, as a nurse, you have to make a choice. Am I going to work today, or am I going to take 2 pills today to keep my pain from being a 10 and maybe get it down to a 6?
Absolutely. So thank you for sharing. I really hope that, this webinar and the testimony that LaShawn has shared with us has helped someone on the line that may have lupus, or may know someone that lives with lupus or fibromyalgia or any of the other autoimmune diseases. I was given the opportunity to speak to the Lupus Society last Saturday, and I tell you, the information was just overwhelmingly well received by those in attendance, because so many still have the stigma about this plant being a plant that gives you absolutely no medicinal properties, but gets you high. So please share this information with those that you love that may have an autoimmune disease. Absolutely every single product that we have can address all of the symptoms that those have that live with lupus. So I'm going to take some questions. Hemp seed oil, is it as effective as CBD? Well, hemp seed oil does not contain CBD. Hemp seed oil is a great nutritionist oil. It's filled with omega-3, 6, and 9, but it does not contain any CBD. So a lot of companies will market their product as a CBD product, but it is hemp seed oil. Hemp seed oil does not contain CBD. There's some other questions about the dosage. Our products, again, are between 750 all the way to 300 milligrams in a 15 ml bottle. There's a question about a product having 3,000 milligrams, I think you're saying, in a 1 ounce bottle. Many times when you see products that have very high levels of what they say CBD is fillers. So you'll have MCT coconut oil, you may have hemp seed oil, you may have virgin oil, olive oil, and when you add up all those things, it's 3,000 milligrams. Are there any other questions specific to autoimmune diseases? If not, I want you to contact the person that invited you on the line. Whoever invited you on the line tonight loves you so much that they wanted you to get this information. So you want to contact them so you can get your products ordered, so that we can truly make a difference in your lives and the lives that those that you love. So thank you again for attending. Good night.